Hello everyone, this is 05 and welcome to the Cobra My Central Toy Review. And today so we're looking at the 2011 release by Hasbro of the G.I. Joe celebrating the 30th anniversary action figure review. And today's action figure review we're looking at the Wave 1 of the Hazard Viper, the Toxin Specialist. Now I got this straight from eBay, and this one cost me a bit more compared to the other 30th anniversary figures that I managed to obtain. This cost me at least 70 ringgit because I won this in a bit. This 70 ringgit would include shipping as well. A lot of people are trying to get the Hazard Viper because it's one of the better figures in the Wave 1 for the 30th anniversary line. Now, let's take a look at the front portion of the packaging style. Now, the packaging style is completely different, but still share similarities to the Pursuit of Cobra line. First off, they remove everything from the black background and, well, follow the team background to the allegiance of the figure itself. So for this one, the Hazard Viper is from Cobra, so we have red and dark red background. We still have the nice little G.I. Joe logo on the top with metallic fonts and the red, white and blue symbol on the top here. The white colored bar here is more towards to silver actually. Here we have a nice little image of a Cobra logo in metallic colors, very nice. Now you also notice on one side here, the artwork style is similar to the Pursuit of Cobra artwork style. But this time the artwork style is very nicely done because it's way more detailed. As you can see, very nicely detailed artwork style of the Hazard Viper. And you will also notice they no longer place the name on this section here, unlike the Pursuit of Cobra line. So they actually place the name into the plastic bubble itself. As you can see here, the name section is at the bottom, which is, they should have done that a long time ago. So it's very nice, and you get to see the image much more better in view. Inside the plastic bubble we have the Hazard Viper here, and he's holding one of the canister that contain the Compound Z itself. There's a small little case that holds two more canisters of the Compound Z. On the other hand itself, he's holding a small little pistol. There's also a small little gun here as well. Not a typical normal gun, more towards to most probably a small little sludge pistol. We got a smaller backpack here. The backpack actually in the back of the packaging mentioned as a toxic sludge pressure backpack, and we have the gun itself that connects to the backpack itself. Very nice. And behind the figure is a small little base stand, and again behind the base stand is a small little catalog, and I presume it's the same catalog from the Pursuit of Cobra line itself that featured Wave 1 and Wave 2 figures. I just hope it's not the same catalog, considering we are already at the 30th anniversary line. Now at the back portion of the packaging itself, everything has been changed. We have a red background with a nice little Cobra logo there, and the section that's stated as a Toxin Specialist. Now we get a full view of the artwork for the Hazard Viper, very nice. Now you will also notice that the Compound Z canister that he's holding is in green, but for the actual figure itself is in blue. Now the blue part is still alright because originally we were shown sneak peek pictures of the Hazard Viper that were released in a Joe convention or the San Diego convention many months ago. So I guess whoever did the artwork or the coloring there did a mistake on that part. Anyway, on this section here is the rest of the waves itself, which is very nice. We actually do miss out the back portion of the G.I. Joe packaging that shows the rest of the wave. In this wave itself, we have the Sergeant Stalker, Steel Brigade, Cobra Trooper, Iron Grenadier, Cobra Viper, Hazard Viper, and we have three more that is listed as coming soon. We have no idea which figures it is. Very nice. And now at the bottom section here is a profile card. Now the profile card is very nicely done. Here we got a nicer image of the Hazard Viper. Stated here with the Cobra logo on the top, very nice. I really like the new profile card. Codename Hazard Viper, Toxin Specialist. Name none. Birthplace none. Primary weapon, liquid toxic sludge attack weapon. combat gear, helmet, chemical transport case, compound Z canisters, pistols, toxic sludge pressure backpack. At the bottom there, stated, Hazard Vipers work with unpleasant and nasty substances. They may plant them as part of the attack or clean them up after an operation. As part of their job, they deal with secretive lab experiments like the mysterious canisters they carry that contain a dangerous new chemical substance, Compound Z. Very nice. And you got a Cobra stamped here on one corner. It's like a seal of approval. Very nice. I really like the new profile card here. Wood collecting, actually. Wood cutting out and collect. Now, without further ado, let's open up this packaging so we can molest the figure. Be right back. And we're back after the figure and the rest of the stuff out from the packaging. Now, you remember what I mentioned about the catalog? That's packaged in the 30th anniversary Hazard Vipers packaging. Well, it turns out with no surprise at all, it's actually from the Pursuit of Cobra catalog. Yes, that still features the Wave 1 and Wave 2 of Pursuit of Cobra figures, and also featured the diorama image of an Arctic thread. Now, you try to imagine that Pursuit of Cobra catalog is being packaged into this 30th anniversary packaging, where Pursuit of Cobra team has already long ended and this 30th anniversary line just started not long ago. The only logical reasoning to all of this is that Hasbro overprinted the catalog way too much and they got to make use of it no matter, well, the circumstances. So putting a Pursuit of Cobra catalog into the 30th anniversary would save their cost, at least as much as they can. But from starting onwards from the Wave 1 of the 30th anniversary line, you'll be getting the catalogs as much as you have gotten from the Pursuit of Cobra line starting from Wave 1 to Wave 4. Yes, you won't be needing those catalogs because the catalogs are outdated and you're most probably just gonna throw it away. So it's still waste of money, waste of paper to even give us the catalog in the first place. Now, enough ranting. Let's start off with the Hazard Vipers accessories, starting off with the base stand. Now, it comes with a nice little base stand that's based on a 25th anniversary style with a nice little Cobra logo on the top with two pegs for the figure to stand on. Nameplate there stated as Hazard Viper. And the back portion at the bottom section of the base stand itself stated at 2007 Hasbro made in China. Now the Hazard Viper here comes with a whole slew of accessories, which is a good thing. The bad news is none of these accessories are actually new at all. They're all old stuff. First we have a pair of pistols, black pistols to be precise, painted, not really. There's no paint job at all, that's pure black plastic material. And what's worse is both molds of the pistols itself is the same because both of them don't even have a trigger, nor they even have the trigger guard. As you can see, they are quite obvious. Furthermore, the mold is actually from the 25th anniversary line. Now you got these two pistols and there's no way for you to actually store it onto the Hazard Viper's body unless he's equipping them. But then again, that sort of thing sort of ruined the entire aesthetic of the Hazard Viper's motif because he is using a backpack with a sludge gun, unless one hand is carrying the sludge gun and the other hand carries the pistol. Again, you're still left out with an additional pistol which there's no way for you to store. Why do you keep giving us those pistols when the figure itself has no way to store them? That's my biggest gripe there. Second, we have what I assume, I'm just gonna hazard a guess why they decided to give this to him. Maybe it's a sludge pistol. Now the entire thing is made of a black plastic material with no paint job at all. Now what's interesting to note is that the mold is actually from the Pursuit of Cobra line, which is from the Arctic thread Destro. Same mold, no changes. Now, why would you want to have the Hazard Viper equipped with the 2 pistols, or at least one of the pistols, when you can have him equip this and the sludge gun, which is much more cooler that way. Next, we'll take a look at the Compound Z canisters. There's 3 of them, as you can see, and each of them made of a gray plastic material, as you can see there, and the blue section, that is the painted area, painted in blue, and you get to see a very nice Biohazard logo with a very tiny Cobra logo in the middle there. Very tiny, as you can see. Very nice. Now there's a handle on the top for the figure to hold on to. Now what's interesting to note is that this is nothing new. The mold here is actually from the Rhino Cobra, specifically from Rex the Doctor. Now it comes with 3 canisters, and each of the canisters can be placed into this orange briefcase, or canister case here. Now what's annoying about this briefcase is that it's rather hard to pull it out, as you can see. Now the entire thing is made of an orange plastic material, and you can see the plastic wear there every time you try to close it. And the funny thing about this is that this one is about to break, so very low quality. I'm expecting this entire thing gonna break sooner or later. Now from the inside of the briefcase itself, there's 3 slots, not counting the bottom one. Each of the slots can fit in the Compound Z canister, as you can see in that. And the briefcase can be closed like so. You hear a click, there's a handle on the top. Now the briefcase here is also nothing new. It actually came from the same figure, Rex the Doctor. As you can see, it's about to break very soon. The quality has dropped down a bit. Next we have here is the backpack with the Compound Z sludge inside. Now the backpack is made of a black plastic material, so does the sludge gun itself. However, the backpack here, 2 of the canisters has been painted in blue, as you can see there. Now there's a peg at the back to plug it at the back portion of the Hazard Viper. Now you'll notice there's a big old button there. This is to activate the squirting water gimmick. Now the tubing here, this section of the tubing here cannot be removed because it's attached to the backpack. However, this tubing here that connects to the sludge gun can be removed, and at the back portion of the sludge gun itself there's a small little hole. That's where you connect the tubing there, like so. Now the details are very nice, but this accessory is nothing new. Again, they took it from the Pursuit of Cobra, yes, Pursuit of Cobra Arctic Threat Destro for his freeze gun with the backpack itself. However, that freeze gun with the backpack was painted in red. This one is painted in blue because due to the Compound Z itself. Now at the end of the barrel itself of the sludge gun, there's a small little hole, as you can see there. Now let's demonstrate the gimmick. I have here a glass of water, clear water. Now all you have to do is soak the barrel into the water itself, press the button to suck in the water like so, and then you can use it to press the button again to fire the water. Now it will be very great if you use colored water, maybe blue, maybe green, considering that he's actually shooting out sludge. Next we have a 3 combo accessory here, all of them attached to one single unit. That will be the body armor itself or the protection suit. First we have 2 oxygen gas tank with 2 tubings. Each of the tubings itself, one is a bit longer and the other one is a bit shorter, because the shorter one connects to the upper section of the protection suit, and the longer tubing oxygen tank connects at the bottom section, or you can also connect at the back portion as well. Now the entire thing is made of a black plastic material, and each end of the canister itself is painted in silver. In the middle portion you have the warning label, but the fonts are way too small for me to read anyway. Now what's funny to note is that this accessory, plus the body armor, plus the helmet, as you can see the helmet here is made of an orange plastic material, and the gas mask is painted in black. I really wish they actually use a clear translucent plastic and then painted the entire thing, because at least with a clear translucent plastic, at least we have a see-through eye goggle there. But you get what you get. There's a lot of nice details for the entire helmet itself. A lot of wrinkles at the back, a bit of buttons there, or whatever those things are at the back. There are 4 of them. You got the gas mask, very nicely done with the details there. As you can see at the bottom section of the breathing apparatus. Also on each side of the mask itself there's a small little hole. There's one hole on one side, or on the other side then there's 2 holes. So you can actually connect one of the tubings here, or 2 of the tubings on one side. Not too sure why they do that, it just boggles my mind. Now at the bottom section here, as you can see, there's a little bit of a, I would say, you're supposed to connect the helmet onto the neck piece there. If you push it all the way in, it will stay shut there and it won't pop off from the body armor very easily. So that's actually a nice point there. Then we have the body armor, the protection suit. As you can see, the entire thing is made of an orange plastic material with 2 buttons to connect this 2 holes there. But the paint job is not very well done, very sloppy, especially on this one here. It bled to this section here. There's a little bit on this section here as well. Now the entire body armor here is actually very nicely done, with all the wrinkles, the pouches, very nicely done. Paint job is very simple. All the lines have been, edges of the pouches are painted with black lines, 2 Cobra logos here in black in the middle, and the collar itself, and this section here is painted in, I would say, and let's not forget the shoulder pad here as well, painted in a bit of dull silver as well, or metallic paint job. All the linings has been painted in black, as you can see. Straps are painted in black. The details are actually very nicely done. There's 2 pegs here that's meant to connect the 2 oxygen tanks, and there's one more peg at the back here. You can actually connect 1 oxygen tank at the back here or in the front, but the problem is at the back portion it tends to be a bit too loose. Here is the back of the hole itself, so you can actually connect place in the peg, back portion of the peg of the backpack through here and onto the figure. 3 of these items here is nothing new. They are actually from the cancelled Rise of Cobra vehicle pack, a very small vehicle pack that contains the Lava Pod and Volcano Viper. Yes, Volcano Viper. These 3 accessories are actually from the cancelled Volcano Viper line itself, but they reuse it and have it turned it into a Hazard Viper, because the entire suit looks like it's like a biohazard suit rather than a suit that withstands lava, because this makes more sense than a suit that withstands lava. Now finally, let's take a look at the figure's paint job. Now the entire figure is actually made of an orange plastic material. Everything here is made of an orange plastic material, which is kind of horrible when you look at it. But they actually gave it a little bit of paint job. Now you notice the entire figure, despite that we have all the accessories, it looks kind of weak. But with the accessories on it, it does look a little bit better. So let's take a look at the paint job itself. As I mentioned before, the entire thing is made of an orange plastic material. So flesh tone skin is painted onto the face itself with the eyes and the eyebrows, but the eye portion is very small. Shoulders here is painted with the armor parts, as you can see, with a metallic paint job. Elbow pads are painted in black. The hands, the gloves are actually painted the same colors as the shoulder itself. The straps here are painted in black, but the buckles are painted in the same colors as the gloves and the shoulders. However, the straps at the back here starts to fade off with the paint job, so the quality is not really that good. Then we have the pouch here, a black pouch, which is made of a black plastic material. This is an add-on piece to the leg itself, so it's not really part of the body. Finally, well, actually there's two more. At the bottom section of the leg itself, there's a bit of shading, a little bit of grey shading to make it look like it's very dirty. And finally, the pair of shoes there, or boots there, is actually made of a orange plastic material but painted in black. Now, when you look at it, the figure doesn't look any all impressive, but with the rest of the equipment onto the figure, it looks pretty nice. For the figure's mold, there's nothing new. Again, nothing new. All the parts has been reused. But first things first, this is basically the same figure as the Volcano Viper that was cancelled in 2009 for the Rise of Cobra line, except with two changes. The original, well, Volcano Viper, it uses the same head, torso, waist, legs, and feet, and the arms from the Mars Trooper's arms. But for this version, they actually changed it. First things first, the head, torso, and waist here actually came from the Rise of Cobra Mars Trooper. As you can see, they're both the same thing. Nothing changed. So I am a bit disappointed, but since he's wearing the helmet on most of the time, so that's still alright. Now the pair of legs is actually came from the Rise of Cobra line as well, because originally the figure actually came from the Rise of Cobra line. So as you can see, the pair of legs are the same mold. Bulky legs that tend to have problems with the knee articulation. And finally, the arms, what originally for the Volcano Viper would be the Mars Trooper's arms, now been replaced by the Pursuit of Cobra Jungle Assault Skydive's arms. Very nice. But the problem with the arms itself is that, well, especially on the wrist joint, it tends to pop off quite easily. It doesn't stay on very well, as you can see there. Furthermore, one of the elbow joint is frozen, so I cannot bend the elbow joint here. This one was earlier frozen, but I managed to free it. Furthermore, the knee joints, as I mentioned before, it tends to be quite stiff when you try to bend the knee joints, which I'm going to demonstrate the articulation now. Let's take a look at the articulation with the head joint that can pivot up and down, side to side a little bit, and turn 360 degrees. Torso here can move forward a little bit, back a little bit, this is not much, and side to side, and finally turn 360 degrees. Now shoulder joints here, turn 360 degrees and lift the arms this high. Now elbow joint here bends this far, straight, and turn 360 degrees, but the other elbow is frozen. Wrist joint here, turn 360 degrees. Hip joints can move forward, back a little bit, to the sides. Single jointed knee due to the bulkiness of the knee, well, entire leg itself, and it's quite stiff to actually bend the legs, especially on the knee joint here. So you can only bend this far, plus you can also swivel 360 degrees like so. Finally, we have the ankle joints that pivot downwards. You cannot pivot upwards because it's being hindered by the really bulky and thick lower legs here, and turn 360 degrees like so. With the equipment on for this figure, the head joint, you cannot pivot the head joint up and down at all, or go side to side, or even turn 360 degrees with all the stuff being hooked on. The right shoulder cannot pivot the arms all the way up is a bit hindered by the shoulder pad on that section there. And the leg joint is, well, it doesn't move all the way up thanks to all the pouches hindering it as well. Now let's fully equip the figure with all the accessories. Equipping him is actually quite easy. All you have to do is just slide in the entire protective suit, like so, and you're mostly done. 2 buttons there, plug it in, place in the head. As I mentioned before, this section here you have to really push it in so it will stay in. It's rather hard to have the helmet stay in. There we go, almost done. There you go. This is how it looks like when everything stays in, so it doesn't pop off quite easily. Then we have the oxygen tanks, which also makes no sense when they want to place the oxygen tanks in front of the body, seeing that, you know, you have guns and all that stuff. People just shoot the oxygen tank in front of him and it will just explode. The shorter one connects on the other side, like so. We have the backpack. Place it like so. Have the tubing wrap around so it doesn't, because the tubing is a bit too long, just like the same issue with the Arctic Thread Destro. So you have to wrap it around so it won't go all over the place itself. Have him wield the sludge gun, and finally we have him hold the briefcase like so, and there you have it. Place him in the base stand. Very nice, way more better compared to the Volcano Viper, despite that it is a, well, repaint to the Volcano Viper itself. There's no new molds. It's just reuse of parts, reuse of our accessories. But I really like it because I never actually owned the Volcano Viper, and I really didn't like the colors for the Volcano Viper because it's mainly in black and dark gray. So I really didn't like the colors for the Volcano Viper, and I refuse to accept that the protective suit that he's wearing is going to protect him from lava. So, well, it could be, but I seriously doubt so. Having a lava pot and a Volcano Viper tunneling through the volcanic areas with lavas all over the place. So I really can't accept that logic. At least this is more believable. Furthermore, it's a correct color, despite that it's mostly orange. It's a correct color for, well, a biohazard crew there. What I really didn't like is the orange colored briefcase. It's just way too much orange going on. As you can see, the entire figure is actually very nice. A bit bulky and a bit restrictive with the articulation and a little bit of, well, stiffness on some joints, especially considering my version of the elbow joint is too stiff that it can't even bend. But the figure is actually not bad. Yes, if I'm gonna give a rating of this, I'll give it a nice 8 out of 10. Yes, 8 out of 10 for the Hasbro Viper. And thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05 and I'm signing off.